and welcome to our English class for today. Today we are going to be talking about commas and their use in a series and with conjunctions. For 4th grade, please open your books to lesson 7.6, and 5th grade, please open your books to lesson 8.2 and 8.3. We will be on 8.3 to start. I will pause a moment so you can pause the video and turn to the right pages inside your English book. When you are ready, please resume the video. Now that you are on your correct pages, we can move forward with our lesson. Our lesson today is all about commas. A comma is a mark that separates words and groups of words. And they will look like this. A comma will go before coordinated conjunctions, words that join two sentences or groups of words together. These coordinated conjunctions are and, but, and or. These commas and conjunctions will help you join two sentences together. You do not use commas in compound subjects or predicates, which we will show examples of later in the lesson. Here are examples of commas being used correctly in compound sentences. In this first one, astronomy is the subject of the study of the universe, comma, and. It has existed since ancient times. How you can tell whether or not it is the proper time to use a comma before a conjunction and is by taking the comma and the and out of the sentence and seeing if the two parts before the part before the and after the and are complete sentences. So let's try that. Astronomy is the study of the universe. It is a complete thought, a complete sentence. Let's try the second part. It has existed since ancient times. That is a complete thought, a complete sentence. Therefore, it is a proper time to use comma, then the conjunction. If you look at the second sentence, astronomers use large telescopes, comma, but you can study the sky with simple binoculars. The same thing with and also works with but. Take the comma and the but out of the sentence and see if those two groups of words can stand on their own as complete thoughts. Astronomers use large telescopes. Complete thought, complete sentence. You can study the sky with simple binoculars. Complete thought, complete sentence. Therefore, it is the proper time to use the comma before the conjunction of but. Let's try with our last conjunction, or. You can first study the moon, comma, or you can study the stars. The same rule for and for but applies for or. Take the comma and the or out of the sentence and see if the two parts make sense. You can first study the moon. Complete thought, complete sentence. You can study the stars. Complete thought, complete sentence. It is the proper time to use a comma before the or. Now, here are examples of when you are not supposed to use a comma before a conjunction. Asteroids and comets are flying rocks. Let's try our handy-dandy trick for and. Take the and out and look at the two groups of words to see if it makes sense as two separate sentences. Asteroids. Not a complete sentence. Therefore, you are not going to put a comma in front of the and, even if comets are flying rocks is a complete thought. Let's try this next one. You can pick singing or dancing. All right? We are going to now break it down by removing the or and seeing if the two groups of words are complete sentences. You can pick singing. Complete thought, complete sentence. Dancing. Dancing is not a complete thought or a complete sentence. Therefore, you do not put a comma before the or. If you need another explanation for when is the proper time to use a and, but, or, rewind the video to the start of this section so that you can hear the explanation for this once again. On the board is 3 example sentences, 2 of which are using commas incorrectly, 1 of which is being used correctly. I would like you to pause the video and select the sentence A, B, or C that is using the comma correctly. I will give you a moment now to pause and make your choice. Welcome back, and I hope your choice has been C. I packed my suitcase, and Dad loaded it into the van. Let's try our trick to see if it is the proper time. Remove the comma and. I packed my suitcase. Complete thought, complete sentence. Dad loaded it into the van. Complete thought, complete sentence. It is the proper time to use the comma and that is the only one of these 3 that work. If you look above, we practice our Spanish. Complete thought, complete sentence. Hope to use it in Mexico. That is not a complete sentence because it is missing a subject. Therefore, not the time to use the comma. In sentence B, Elizabeth bought postcards and her sister bought souvenirs. There's absolutely no comma in that sentence. That's why that one is incorrect. However, if you did add a comma before this and, that would make it a complete and correct usage of the comma. Now we are going to move on to our second half of the lesson. Commas are also used when you have a group of words. When you have 3 or more words of the same kind written one right after another, it is called a series. Commas will separate the words and a conjunction in a series. Here's an example sentence of commas in a series used correctly. Anna, Christopher, and Otto raised their hands. Anna, Christopher, and Otto are all names. They are words of a similar kind, and they are written one right after another. So therefore, is it a series? You put a comma between Anna and Christopher to separate those 2 names. And you put a comma between Christopher and the and to separate Otto and Christopher. You do not put a comma after the Otto because it is the end of the series, and you do not need it to separate from the rest of the sentence. That is how you use commas in a series. If you need another explanation of how that works, please pause the video and rewind to the beginning of this section so you can hear the explanation once again. On the board, I have 3 sentences. 2 are using commas in a series incorrectly, and 1 of which is using them correctly. At this time, I would like you to pause the video, look at A, B, or C, and choose which sentence is using commas in a series correctly. Welcome back. From your choices of A, B, and C, I hope that you once again chose C as the correct answer. I took pictures of the coastline, comma, mountains, comma, and plants. Coastline, mountains, and plants are all similar because they are what are being taken pictures of. That is what combines them into a series. There's a comma between the coastline and the mountains, between the mountains and the and plants. If you look at A, the reason why that is incorrect, even though you have a comma between Salzburg and Barcelona, and a comma between Barcelona and Galloway, they have added an extra comma in between and Galloway, therefore making it incorrect. In sentence B, Krista wanted to hike, ski, and shop on her vacation. They have absolutely no commas in that series, making it an incorrect usage of commas in a series. Now we are going to go over our example problems for your assignment today. What I would like you to do is to take out a piece of paper and a pencil. We are going to go through one example from each of the exercises that you will be doing, just like we do in class. First up, fourth grade. We're going to do page 171, exercises 1 and 2. Fifth grade, you can either pause the video and fast forward to your section or pay attention to how the fourth grade does theirs, as their problems are very similar to how you will do yours. For exercise 1, fourth grade, you will rewrite the entire sentence. For some time, the family had wanted to go to England and they planned their trip carefully. Once you have rewritten the sentence, you now need to add a comma where it is needed. So we see the conjunction and we don't see a series. So we are likely combining two separate sentences, but we need to make sure. If we remove the and, do the two parts of the sentence fit as complete thoughts. For some time, the family had wanted to go to England. Complete thought, complete sentence. They planned their trip carefully. Complete thought, complete sentence. Therefore, it is the proper time to put a comma before the and. That is how you do exercise 1. Rewrite the sentence, add a comma where it is needed. For exercise 2, you will be rewriting the sentences and adding the commas so they are used correctly. In sentence number 1, after you rewrite it, we did not have good weather, but we still had a good time. We have a conjunction, but, and we don't have any comma, any series. So we do our trick just like we did in exercise 1. Cover the but and see if the two halves of the sentence make complete thoughts. We did not have good weather. Complete thought, complete sentence. We still had a good time. Complete thought, complete sentence. Therefore, it is the proper time to add a comma before the but. Fourth grade, that is all that you are going to be doing for your assignment. You are going to do exercises 1 and 2, all problems located within those two exercises. On your sheet of paper, rewrite the sentence, add the commas when they are needed. You are going to be turning in this assignment when we are meeting in person. Make sure that you have it done by then. If you have any questions on how to do the exercises or you get stuck, please join our Zoom session that we will have later in the day where you can ask me those questions and I will help you as best that I can. Fifth grade. Now it is time for us to go over your instructions. You will be doing page 165, exercises 1 and 2, and page 167, exercises 1 and 2. For exercise 1, on page 165, you are going to rewrite the sentence and add the commas in the series correctly. The inner planets are small, rocky, and solid. Here we have a series of words, small, rocky, and solid. They are all similar because they are adjectives describing planets. To add the commas in the series correctly, you will put the commas between small and rocky and on your sheet. After you rewrite the sentence, add the commas where they are needed. That is how you do exercise 1. For exercise 2 on page 165, they give you a series of 3 words. For number 1, they give you crowded, bustling, and noisy, and tell you that you need to use them as adjectives in a sentence. Remember, adjectives are words that describe a noun or a pronoun. The sentence that I used crowded, bustling, and noisy in is the train station was crowded, bustling, and noisy. Crowded, bustling, and noisy have commas in between like they are supposed to. And they are being used properly as adjectives by describing the station. You write a sentence using the 3 words they gave you and add the commas in the series correctly, just like you did in exercise 1. For exercise 1 on page 167, you are going to rewrite the sentence and add the commas where they are needed. So for number 1, you must use your eyes carefully and you will see many things. First, we remove the and see if this is the proper time to be using a comma before a conjunction. You must use your eyes carefully. Complete thought, complete sentence. You will see many things. Complete thought, complete sentence. Now is the time to add a comma before the and. That is how you do exercise 1 on page 167. Rewrite the sentence, add the commas where needed. For exercise 2, you need to rewrite the sentence and add the commas when needed. But be warned, 2 of the problems are correct. When you find a sentence that is using commas correctly in exercise 2, you will write correct instead of writing the sentence. For number 1, most cities have a lot of pollution, and star watching is difficult in them. Let's break it apart just like we did in exercise 1. Most cities have a lot of pollution. Complete thought, complete sentence. Star watching is difficult in them. Complete thought, complete sentence. That is the proper time to add a comma before the and. That is how you do exercise 2 on page 167. Rewrite the sentence if it isn't correct already and add the comma where it is needed. If you have any questions on the exercises or problems within, join us in our Zoom session later today where you can ask me those questions. You'll be doing all 4 exercises, all problems located within. Do not do exercise 3 on page 167. It is not needed for you to do. Thank you for joining us with our lesson in English today. I look forward to our lesson tomorrow where we will be continuing with commas and their uses in direct address inside a sentence.